today I would like to address two things, the first of which is in a recent report from the Children's Ombudsman warning of the rise of the so-called extremism among the youth. The first thing to say is that extremism doesn't appear out of thin air. It's a response, a backlash to a deteriorating situation in this country. And furthermore, when we look at what's been labelled as extremists among the legitimate cases, we too often find views that most people, for most of history, would have called common sense. This is the government's latest trick. Slap the word extremist on anyone who dares to question them. It is a way to villainise the ordinary people, to ignore their own horrific level of failure, and then to scapegoat the natural backlash as the work of some shadowy agents spreading addictive, nefarious ideas online. And this study from the Ombudsman of Children's Office is a perfect example of that. It's framed as if young people are clueless victims, brainwashed by extremists lurking in the dark corners of the internet. That framing is insulting. It assumes our young people have no agency, no ability to think critically, and we've conveniently led to the conclusion that the state must swoop in to save young people from themselves. But let's look at the methodology. 28 schools, handpicked from a list of 200, many already linked to the OCO programmes. Voluntary participation, no random sampling, no definition of extremism, no weighing for gender imbalance. This is not robust research. It is a narrative dressed up as data, and for that reason it's worthless as evidence for policy. If the government wants to understand why people are angry, why they're pushing back, they should start looking in the mirror. Because the greatest extremism in Ireland is extremism of failure. Failure on housing, failure on immigration, failure on law and order, failure on basic governance. And until that changes, the backlash will continue, no matter how many surveys they publish to pretend otherwise. And on that subject of tone-deaf responses, this leads me to the second thing which I want to address today. We've all seen the government's video released over the weekend telling young people how to cope with moving back in with their parents. Cope. That's not policy, that's capitulation. It's an admission that the government has failed so spectacularly on housing that the best they can offer is a demeaning pep talk. Instead of fixing the crisis they created, they're telling our young people to grin and bear it, as if losing independence is just a lifestyle choice. That's not leadership, it's gaslighting. Go on, my God.